Dun 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 dun. What's next for Taika Waititi? What is next indeed? Let's check this out. Hey guys, welcome back to the Stuff of Legend. My name is D'Lo, and I have some very fun discussions for you today. It's not really movie news. I mean, I will go over some news, of course, as I always do. But today, I'm going to be showing you guys something really fun. And what this is, hello everybody, is I got a new pop, and it got me thinking. First, I'll show you. Hello, man. My name's Korg. I got a friend here named Meek, and he's really fun. Yeah, we tried to start a revolution, but we ran out of pamphlets. So, rather we didn't print enough pamphlets. Sorry, my Korg impression's not on point right now. I'm trying to avoid the glare so you guys can see this thing. It's a fall 2018 convention for Funko, special edition of Korg with Meek in hand, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah, and kind of getting my accents mixed up a bit, but it's okay. It's gonna be fun. And I've got this little guy up here in the corner. I'm gonna flash him for you so you can see. But that's basically what he looks like in case you guys wanted to get a better look of that. So, that being said, got some fun for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up an article. Now, as you guys may have known, the director of Thor Ragnarok, Taika Waititi, he voiced the character Korg, who is almost everybody's favorite character from the movie, the stony guy, who started a revolution. And he was a lot of fun. Now, he's been in talks in the news. I've talked about this multiple times over. How Guardians of the Galaxy 3 has no longer has James Gunn on the reins as the director. Now, they are still, as far as I'm aware, they are still keeping the script that he wrote for Guardians 3. However, they will not be having him as the director. So Guardians 3 has been delayed indefinitely. So we're not exactly sure when we are going to get Guardians 3 or really what it's going to look like. We don't really know what, even if they do stick with James Gunn's script ongoing, that would be still something we're not aware of. We don't really know what the story is going to be. Now, a lot of people have speculated because Taika Waititi did Thor Ragnarok, and Thor Ragnarok was very noticeably based off of the style and flavor that was Guardians of the Galaxy. Bright, vibrant colors. It really made the cosmic end of space for Marvel really come alive in a very vibrant way we hadn't yet seen in any of the other Marvel movies. And a lot of the Marvel films had felt very like grounded and kind of grayscale, like very desaturated in the way that it was presented, but not Guardians. Guardians came alive, and that was one thing that James Gunn did quite well at. And Taika Waititi took that model and said, you know what? Not only am I going to do that, I'm going to give Thor and Hulk a revamp so that they can really be displayed as two of the greatest characters in this universe, two of the strongest, most powerful characters in the Marvel universe, as we hadn't really seen them thus far. I mean, they were powerful, but it was arguable that, I mean, like Iron Man might be able to go toe to toe with Thor, and it's like how strong is he really in this movie universe? And they really put an end to that argument. They said, no. Thor is the top, and Hulk is up there in that realm, but he's not the God of Thunder. The God of Thunder is up here. He's one of the only people who could potentially take down Thanos. And so with that being said, Taika Waititi is a marvelous director, and he had such a great vision that piggybacked off of James Gunn's. But that now everyone's saying if James Gunn can't pick up Guardians 3, uh, who should be the next guy? And almost everybody immediately thoughts just went straight to Taika Waititi because just the way that he was able to embody the spirit of Guardians with Thor Ragnarok, and it was great. And he's talked on. Let me see if I can find the quotes from him. Um, I'm gonna put links in the description to all of these things so that you guys can see these. Oh, I think I have it right here. So so it says Screen Rants recently sat down with Waititi to discuss Thor Ragnarok and how interested he would be in returning for another installment of the Thor series. While the director was on board with the idea, he revealed that it wouldn't really feel like doing a fourth film, meaning Thor 4, which is a lot of fun to say, but rather like Ragnarok 2. Waititi elaborated further on this point, saying, yeah, people ask me, would you do another one? And for sure, I'd do another one because it wouldn't even feel like doing a fourth Thor film. It would just feel like doing the second Ragnarok film. Because it does feel like, in a way, yeah, there's been this reinvention in an exciting way, and I would agree to that. Back to the article. So it's exciting because it feels like if Chris were to do this again, it wouldn't feel like, oh, it's the eighth time I've done Thor. No, it would feel like the second or third time I've done this character. Same with Mark Ruffalo. And so that's a very interesting point that he brings up here, is that Thor's been in this since Phase 1, guys. He was one of the early films. I think he was the fourth film. I think it I or maybe the I think it was the fourth or the third. I thought it was the fourth. It went Iron Man 1, Hulk. I think it went Iron Man 2, Thor, then Captain America, the first Avenger, and then the Avengers, if I'm remembering correctly. It's been so long. But anyway, at any rate, he's been there for that whole time. So he had his own movie, then he had Avengers, his second movie, Avengers 2. He had Captain America, Civil War, and then Avengers 3. He even had that cameo in Doctor Strange. Lots of fun times along the way. Plenty of movies he's been in. And now for him to come back, if Taika Waititi were to take on a Ragnarok 2, essentially, which would be Thor 4, um, the character that he portrays is so different from Thor 1 and 2 to then Thor 3, even in all the Avengers films. Like, there was moments where he was kind of silly, but it was a very different kind of silly. It was a very different kind of um, comedy that they were bringing forth with Thor. And frankly, I actually did like the way that they portrayed Thor's personality in the very first Thor. In Thor 1, I liked that Thor, I think, the best. However, Ragnarok, they portrayed the character of Thor a lot better um, on the battlefield, and they made certain that in his character development along the way, um, he went he grew over and over and over. We've seen him grow time and time again. Every time we've seen him, he's been a little different, and he's gotten to this place of um, maturity in his awareness as a leader, but also a lot more casual with his personality and relationships with other people. And so I think it's shown that he's grown in his responsibility, but at the same time he's grown confident enough with himself and the world around him, so that he can relax a little, enjoy himself more, and be a little bit more goofy with his enemies like Surtur and some of the other enemies that they fight and face. And I would love to see Taika Waititi come back for this, but also, if given the opportunity, I would suggest to Marvel, just give Taika Waititi the reins to Guardians 3. That would be, I think, the best case scenario. I mean, obviously, they're going to screen and vet whoever's going to do the next Guardians film. Whatever the script has in store, they're going to find who they think can do that the best. And it may or may not be Taika Waititi, but I believe personally that he would be the most qualified for that. Now, we've talked about this. That's old hat. Now, let's get into this. Star Wars rumor. Ooh, you didn't see that coming, did you? So, I'm going to take that pop down off the image. And so, Star Wars rumor: Taika Waititi and Bryce Dallas Howard are in Star Wars: The Mandalorian. So this is interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and read this. Taika Waititi and Bryce Dallas Howard may pull double duty in The Mandalorian, and they both now rumored to have roles in the series. Disney is invest sorry, Disney is investing heavily in their upcoming streaming service, and it will include new movies original Marvel TV series, and even the first ever live action Star Wars show. The latter will be written and produced by Jon Favreau, but he didn't appear to be directing. It's confirmed that the series will be called The Mandalorian, and fans recently got a look at what the main character looks like. Not not who's under the mask. So we still don't know who's under the mask here. While there have been casting rumors pointing to Pedro Pascal possibly headlining the series, the official announcements have instead focused on who will be behind the camera. Lucasfilm already announced an impressive list of directors for The Mandalorian, which includes Dave Filoni, thank God, Rick Famuyiwa, Famuyiwa. Sorry, I don't want to butcher that. Rick Famuyiwa, Deborah Chow, uh, Taika Waititi, which is awesome, and Howard, as in, I believe they're referring to Bryce Dallas Howard, but Ron Howard is her father, and I would hope that it would be Ron Howard since he already had experience directing Solo. I have no idea if his daughter is capable of directing. Then it continues on. It says, according to the new rumor discussing the film, Taika Waititi and Bryce Dallas Howard may also have acting roles in The Mandalorian, which would be awesome because Taika Waititi did a great job playing Korg. It would be fun to see him in person as well. Also, he doesn't look too dissimilar from Daniel Logan and I'm sorry, the guy who played Jango Fett, sorry, and all the clones. I'm forgetting his name right now. It'll come back to me later. YTT will be providing the voice of a droid in The Mandalorian, while there is no potential details on who Howard could play. Neither will be leading roles, but instead minor ones if this is confirmed. YTT may be best known as the director of Thor Ragnarok after impressive indie comedies What We Do in the Shadows and Hunt for the Wilderpeople. But he's also spent time as an actor. He starred in, or at least been featured in, almost anything and everything he's directed. Um, and a voice role is nothing new either. And then it mentions here that he did the voice for Ragnarok's scene stealing Cronin named Korg, which is exactly the exact same individual who is on my pop box. He's right here. That's where I bring this back up so that you guys can see that. Um, and then it talks about just using beeps and noises for potentially the droid that he might be playing. But then it just says Howard is an accomplished actress. I think that for her, it'll be more likely that she's playing someone from like one of the clans in on Mandalore, since she does look pretty similar to the animated character Satine, who was the love interest for Obi-Wan Kenobi on Mandalore during the Clone Wars. Could be the daughter, could be a granddaughter, whatever. It likely would be someone of importance since she is an A-list actress. So that would be really cool. Nevertheless, it looks like Taika Waititi's got a lot on his plate, a lot potentially anyway. And certainly with James Gunn out of the picture for Guardians, there's a huge opening for him to continue on as a director. And Kevin Feige has already stated he really does want to have Taika Waititi come back. He loves the work he did in Ragnarok, and it would just make sense for him to come back for Guardians 3, or possibly even the Eternals. And I know that this was one of the articles that was up here. It's also in the description. I think I had this one up here as well. But it says, let me see. Where did this one go? Where is it? I think it was right here. Okay, so Marvel Studios President Kevin Feige has been very vocal about wanting to work with Taika Waititi again as well. Whether such reunion comes with Guardians 3 remains to be seen, but there's plenty of other films that could potentially pique his interest. For example, The Eternals could be Waititi's very own grand cosmic franchise, which would also make sense. He may have fancied the idea for Thor Ragnarok 2, which is the article I just cited previously. More than anything else, during the original Ragnarok press tour, and Hemsworth said he'd already talked to Waititi about what they could possibly do next, whether it's Thor 4, Guardians 3, or something else entirely. Waititi's MCU return is at the very least being discussed, which is excellent because there's so many other stories that they could be telling. They could get into uh, like powerhouse characters like Hyperion, or they might get into Nova, or um, maybe he'll do a Silver Surfer movie. We have no idea what they could be planning over at Marvel. We know that they have every intention to include as many characters as they want. Now that they have the Silver Surfer and the Fantastic Four, these types of things could be told uh, as of in the next couple years. Supposedly, the Fox purchase by Disney will be closed officially by January 2019. That's the word on the web right now. So stay tuned for more news in the days and weeks and months to come because it's not very far away. That's 2.5 months out from now. So that's coming up very soon. So anyway, I'm really excited for all of this. I like Taika Waititi both as Korg, which I am really excited to see. Hopefully in Avengers 4, um, alongside like Valkyrie and a lot of the other characters that we know are still alive based on the commentary from the Russo brothers during the special commentary edition of Infinity War. If you have the Blu-ray, and then upcoming movies are Captain Marvel, release date March 8th, 2019. Again, we have Avengers 4, the Untitled Avengers movie, which is release date May 3rd, 2019. And Spider-Man Far From Home, release date July 5th, 2019. And so that's Far From Home. I'm really excited about all of this. I'm going back to see Venom again, which is not inside of the MCU. However, there is a strange connection through Tom Holland's Spider-Man because Spider-Man's not in the Sonyverse as of right now. But by contract, he belongs to Sony, and Sony's building this universe. And in just a couple years, Marvel's contract with Tom Holland's Spider-Man will be over, and he will be done being borrowed, so he will go back home to the Sonyverse. So it's kind of weird. They can't really have him in the Sonyverse at the same time as the MCU, but he will go back to the Sonyverse, and then he'll be able to exist there with Venom and Morbius and Silver Sable and Black Cat and everybody else who they're going to be making these stories for. So it'll be fun. I can't wait to see what they're going to do, not only in the MCU but in the Sonyverse as well. Lots of things coming up. And then also very excited for the cosmic end of Marvel to expand. So guys, let me know down in the comments who you want to see from the Marvel cosmic end, whether it be one of the Fox properties that's getting drafted into the MCU through the purchase, or if it's a character that we just haven't explored yet and you want in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let me know down below. Make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed this video. Make sure to please subscribe and leave a comment. Those are very encouraging. If you have any critiques for me, I would appreciate that. I would love that. And also, just thank you guys for being a part of this channel, this stream, this video. You guys rock. Make sure to turn on notifications so you guys can be alerted right away next time when I go online. Right now, it's actually quite late. It's 1 in the morning, but it doesn't matter because you guys will be watching this in the replay. So you guys have a great rest of your day or night, and I will see you guys right here next time on The Stuff of Legend.